yourself and kind of give us a rundown of what you'll be discussing tonight.
Sure, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for coming. One thing I want to point out is I'm going to tell you a lot of good information, and I'm a big believer in that, well, I'm going to teach you a lot about the brain, and our brain learns by repetition, so it's really important. If you want to, I'm not going to force you, but it's really good to write down some of the things that I'm going to tell you.
I was just going to ask, are there scratch pads here?
I think so, right? There's one I see. I have, I'll just pass these. I have sheets of paper for everyone.
And there's also books over here if we run out of clipboard, so you can grab a book and use it, grab a piece of paper and write on it.
Does anybody want a clipboard?
Hey.
And I got a pen.
Anybody else?
Oh, the iceberg.
So as you see on the sheet of paper, we're going to be going over the iceberg, but a little bit later. So you can use the back to write. So first thing I want to share is we have 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day. Crazy, right? 60 to 70,000. And did you know that 90% of those thoughts are the exact thoughts that we thought yesterday?
Wow.
So if those are the same thoughts that we thought yesterday, then yesterday when we had our 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day, 90% of that were thoughts that we, were the same thoughts. So we're pretty much walking around memorized human beings with all of these limiting beliefs. And so I started my own private practice, and it's called No BS Therapy. And the reason why I called it No BS Therapy is two reasons. The first one is all about the limiting beliefs. So through my life, I had those limiting beliefs that I'm not good enough, and I'm different than everyone else, and I need a man to complete me, and just all of those thoughts. And I've had those my whole entire life until I found a really good therapist where she helped me. I did some deep work with her for 5 years where I got to work on those limiting beliefs. And through doing that work with her, I finally started realizing these are just stories that I made up to protect myself in some way. And so then I started calling them my BS stories, and I started making YouTube videos. And I made YouTube videos calling BS on those stories that I've been living. And so that started getting me excited about, okay, like everyone, we all have these BS stories that we've been living, these I'm not enough, I'm limited, I'm different types of stories. And that's one piece of my business, which is No BS Therapy. And the other piece is, like I said, I went in therapy and I was there for 5 years. And I got a lot of good stuff from it. But even me being a therapist, I felt like, gosh, it's got to be sooner. We want to heal. We want to feel better sooner than 5 years. Does it really take this long? And I enrolled in this course called Rapid Transformational Therapy. And what it is it helps people find the cause of their issue in that first session and then work on healing themselves. And it's funny because when I found that course, the woman who started it, she's from England, and she says that she can cure anyone in one 90-minute session. And me being a therapist, a good therapist, I was like, that is BS. I'm going to buy her course, show her that it doesn't work, and then get a refund. So that's what I did, and as I practiced it with other coworkers and my friends,
And me.
and Daniel, I wasn't going to call you out, but Daniel was one of my guinea pigs, and every single person had a breakthrough. I'm like, oh my gosh, this woman isn't crazy, this woman is a genius, and I need to start doing this in San Diego. So Daniel, you can tell your story later if you want to. Not up to me, it's up to you. But so that's me kind of, and sense that you don't have to go be in therapy for years to get any kind of healing. And there can be transformation in one session, because what I do is not just you and your conscious brain, it's your subconscious brain, because our subconscious knows everything that happened to us. It's our conscious brain that is constantly trying to protect us. So that's a little bit of my story. And one thing to share with you too is I very much love engagement, just to let me know that you guys are all paying attention, but also to get the repeating the words in your brain, because that's how our brain learns, is by repetition. So I might say a sentence and then have you finish the word after me. So as much engagement as you can give, that would be amazing for you too, because when we engage, when we push ourselves just a little bit out of that comfort zone, we are creating new neural pathways in our brain. And so every time you push yourself out of that comfort zone, you're creating those new neural pathways and you're stretching your brain. So everyone want to start your brain to grow to be more today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like it. Good. I didn't have to like coax you guys in. You're already ready. Perfect. So let me ask you guys first, what does the word power mean to you?
Control.
Control?
Potential.
Potential.
Yeah, the ability to do something.
Ability to do something.
Work.
Work. And you can't get it wrong. It's just your perception of what power is.
Freedom.
Freedom.
What my fiance has that I don't.
Okay, so what do you need to feel or to be powerful? Self-love. Self-love.
Confidence.
Confidence.
Belief in self.
Mm-hmm. Discipline.
Support.
Support.
Strong foundation.
Strong foundation. Okay, so do you believe that you can have all of that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah? Good, because you can. It's a choice, right? You either choose to have it or you choose not to have it. So write this down. Whether you've heard it or not, I don't care. Write it down, because that's how our brain works, right? So this is the quote. It says, what you think you can. Sorry, guys. Or whether you think you can't.
You're right.
You know the end of it, right? You are right. So whether you think you can, whether you think you can't, you are right.
Let me ask you what's called rapid transformation
Therapy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll speak a little bit more about that later. Yeah, that's the specialty that I do. So it's your choice, right? Whether you think you can, you can, or whether you think you can't, you can't. It's completely up to you. And so we are very powerful people, and we have way more power than we actually know. And so right there, that quote just shows you how much power you have. So let me ask you this. When is it not your choice?
When you think you
Someone
can't.
else?
Someone else? So you can't force someone else to do something?
When my mom tells me.
That's true.
Mom
always
Brownie points?
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
Can you allow someone else to have her?
Ooh. Is that, yeah, is that your choice?
Yeah.
Allowing them to have the power, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, help, tell me more.
I suppose if you weren't healthy enough to do the things required to gain said power.
Possibly, yeah. It depends if it was your choice of the health that you have not beforehand. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Or are you saying like health that you were born into?
Yeah. Or, or decisions that lead to that. Just for fun.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I said, nothing is wrong here. Everything is right because it's our perception. I just want to get us thinking about things. So I would say when it's not our choice is when it is underneath our awareness. When it is a subconscious limiting belief that we've been living our whole life or for a long time, and it's running our program and we don't even know that it's running. So an example can be, have you guys heard of the law of attraction or the movie The Secret? Everyone heard? Yeah. Okay, so it says thoughts create things. So, okay, well, I want a Ferrari. Well, why don't I have a Ferrari? I keep thinking about the Ferrari. I'm picturing myself in it, seeing it. Why do I not have that Ferrari? But what if when I was a little girl, I saw my parents fighting about money all the time? And I made a decision that I never want to argue about money, and money is bad. Money brings fights and arguments. And even though my brain and conscience is telling me I want this for, I have these limiting beliefs in my subconscious that's telling me, oh, money is bad. Money's going to bring arguments. So then it's like you're fighting with your brain, and that's the sheet that I gave you is 10%, that top part, 10% is subconscious and our unconscious on that sheet, but the best picture I can find with the unconscious on it. But that's underneath, and that's the stuff that is running our life, running our program. And so that's when we don't have choices. We're thinking how badly we want something, but our subconscious is already having that program going on. In our conscious, that's where our thoughts and awareness is. That's 10% of what we see all the time. And then the subconscious is autopilot. So it could be our brain telling us to breathe, or our brain telling our heart to beat. Could you imagine if we had to tell ourselves to beat our heart all the time, telling ourselves to beat? It'd be crazy, right? So it's a good thing that we have our subconscious that does that. Also, that's where our short-term memories are, and our beliefs and our habits. They're all in a subconscious. And then underneath that is the unconscious. Now, this is where our repressed memories are. So our brain knows every single memory that we've ever had. Our brain knows it, and it stores it. And sometimes it comes up for us in a dream or consciousness, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's where what I was explaining, my specialty, rapid transformational, comes in, because it's able to ask you the root of your issue, and it can bring the stored memories from your unconscious to your subconscious so we can work with it. So, did you guys know that from the ages of 0 to 7, that is where your brain makes the most crucial beliefs? Most of your beliefs you have in your subconscious were made from the ages of 0 to 7. Did you know that? No?
I did my research.
Daniel did. Exactly. So that's when our brain makes those beliefs, and usually they're limited beliefs. They're usually not I'm the smartest person in the world and I can do anything. They're usually I'm limited, I'm enough. And there's 3 main categories. And so those 3 main categories are I'm not enough, I'm not what? Enough. The next one is I'm different than everyone else. And the last one are things aren't available to me.
aren't or are things?
Aren't. Things
aren't.
aren't available to me.
Cookie jar.
A cookie jar. There's a limiting belief right there, right? Not available to me. So if you think about the limiting beliefs that have been running your life, can you see how they fit in one of these categories? Yeah. So here's another fun fact. Researchers have found that our self-esteem can be formed as young as 5 years old. Crazy, right? Because your self-esteem is what?
I think it's rooted in your belief of yourself or belief in yourself. So like how you see yourself and also how you treat yourself and then what you believe you can accomplish or do, both physically and mentally.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah. So
Cool, that was well put.
Yeah.
I should be.
Have it recorded.
yeah, everyone write down what Will just
Very
said.
good. I should get a print.
Right, yeah. Play it back.
So yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah,
That's
well
our self-esteem. And can you believe that a 5-year-old already knows their self-worth? Isn't that crazy? We are all sitting in all of these chairs with 5-year-old beliefs. Wow, right? So the other piece too, our brain is not growing until 25. Yeah, our self-esteem is formed at the age of what?
5.
5. Yeah,
I have a question.
Yes.
Are you open to questions?
I am open.
So if that is true, then what if I'm wounded at the age of 5 or even before 5? You know, what if I sustain a traumatic injury? You know, whether it be physical or psychologically. How does that then impact my self-esteem and my self-belief? You know, you have some insight into that?
Yeah, it absolutely impacts your self-esteem and your self-belief. Actually, I'm going to do an exercise right now.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's going to answer your question, but if not, I'll go back to it.
Okay.
But I think this will, it's in my head, and you know it's coming That's a great question.
Or like growing and regenerating.
I think what it means is because, yeah, what did you say?
Neural pathways.
The neural pathways.
Like the neurons, like in making connections.
And every time a memory is made, the neural tracks that are laid, and so it's like a bunch of train tracks through your mind. And so what it means by growth is more paths laid, basically, more train tracks laid in the brain. And so when our brain needs to respond to something in the moment, it will take it out of that memory housing group, if you know, and then it will respond to it. Or it might be a autonomic nervous system response. Okay, I'll stop. So then it's a fight, flight, or freeze situation, right? Because the system's overloaded, and so the brain kind of shuts down on it. Telling our body what to do. So then our brain into our actual brain.
So you can get the So I want us to pretend that there's a 5-year-old boy. Okay, Johnny comes in the door, and Johnny's sitting in the middle of us right now. Okay. Now we are going to say some really mean things. Just what Will brought up. When something traumatic happened at 5 or 5. So we're going to say some really mean things to Johnny that we probably say to his head every single day, because Johnny grew up in an abusive or just a household that didn't see potential. Okay, so also I want it to be just whatever you think of, just throw it out there. So you'll never make it.
You're going to want you.
You're ugly.
I was gonna say that.
You're very ugly.
You're really ugly.
So ugly.
You can't do that.
You're
What are
gonna,
you thinking?
you're gonna fail.
Are you stupid?
Everyone's watching you. It's like,
Tie your shoes.
Like your shoes, can you? Yeah.
How hard is it to put a fucking cup in the sink?
You're too stupid to do that, aren't you?
You have no friends. Loser.
Why
Your
cry?
mom's ugly.
Always cry.
Mom smells funny. Like you.
What's with your hair?
Poor kid.
It's an extreme. Okay, so we get the just. So how do you think little 5-year-old Johnny's gonna grow up? How is he gonna? What are the thoughts are gonna be? He's gonna be saying in his head.
All of those.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't have a support group, he's screwed.
Yeah. Yes. If he doesn't have a support group, he's screwed. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Because he doesn't have to leave. It's his choice, right? So yeah, if he believes, then he's screwed if he doesn't have a support system. And what else? Would he feel empowered?
No, he would probably minimize himself and like let's say he goes out in entrepreneur spirit to start business. He may not even ask for the money that he's worth, because he might believe that this is part of him and he's not worth it, so he might feel worthless.
He might stop himself from he might stop himself from doing something before he even gets started.
Yeah.
Because he just inherently feels like he doesn't know it or he can't do it. Not capable.
Not capable.
Or he start and sabotage himself.
Yeah, a lot of sabotage, right?
You overcome they do and just be a shell of a person.
Constantly trying to prove himself to people.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys get this. So Johnny's gonna leave now.